Well, week 25, folks. Next week, I believe, is 6 months. I think we better just get into it.
Never gonna stop now, baby.
Over the last few weeks, I have seen some incredible videos on a trip that a lot of people did to Texas. And I wish I could have gone. I really do. But as in last week's video, mobility prevented it. Like, I'm way off that. And I'm fine with it. But one of the things that I saw was quite a common thread with all of them, and my heart just, my heart ached for them, because the common theme, the common thread is that thud back to reality. And when you come back, I've been there. I've done many a trip where it's just all go, 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 go with mum singing, and it's like full steam ahead, do everything you can, get her on the stage, and everything that encompasses, absolutely everything. And it's like go, 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 and the adrenaline just keeps you going. It keeps you going, and it's exciting. It's exciting. I mean, I've done trips where I've traveled, and the excitement of doing the touristy thing. I can't even begin to fathom what it would have been like to be in a crowd of people that were just all carnivore or ketovore or keto, just to be in that same mindset, but on a different level. For me, whenever I've gone overseas, for the most part, it's usually been opera related. To experience a trip like that with the current mindset that I have and the current lifestyle that I have, I can imagine that would be quite extraordinary. And yeah, I have seen so many of those people in their videos. They're like, oh, back to reality. Yeah, folks, it's hard. It is. I have been there too many times to count. And my mother copped the brunt of it. I am going to share with you now something that I scanned in, probably a year ago. All part of the stuff that I was scanning in for my mother's archives. I found various pieces of papers and booklets and all sorts of notes that she'd written with a view to doing a book too, because she did write a book called Wait Till the Sun Shines Nellie, and that was published in the 80s. She had grand designs to call her second book And Nothing But, as in the truth and nothing but. But in addition to all these things that I found, I was given a very unique insight as to what she had to deal with on a personal level when she came back from one of those trips. I mean, she looked like, I remember her being just a little bit moody, but me being me, I just we were both mum and I and dad in some cases, we were all jet lagged up to our eyeballs, because whenever she sang, it was always at the other end of the world, day's journey in either direction. So what I wanted to share with you is a little section of what she wrote to give you an idea of how she felt. Now, do I have to do this? No, I don't. But I wanted to make a point to let you know, to all those people that may go overseas for whatever reason and then come back and actually find themselves in that slump of back to reality. It's hard. It is really hard. When I read this to you, you'll also realize that, yeah, the woman had depression, bless her heart. And it was something that I know now that she struggled with for a good deal of her life, more so when she came out to Australia. But that's another story. Depression is a very real thing, and it is very hard to navigate when you've got a foggy head. But even when you've got clear thinking, there are those old demons that do come back, and they are hard. You know, I've talked about the, hey, we're still here, we got cookies. They do come back every so often, and they are going to tap you on the shoulder and go, still here. So you've got to ask yourself, how do you deal with it? I mean, do you plod along and just trudge along, or do you try to lift yourself up and just bolster yourself up? Because, I mean, this particular trip to Texas, you know, there are so many different reasons why that thud of reality when you come back is going to vary in different degrees. It'll either be a slight thud or a major thud. And I can imagine that it would be very difficult if you've been on a trip like that and you come home and you're then, so not everybody is in this position, of course. I'm very lucky in that my husband is a carnivore. He can still eat stuff that I can't. He's got a different metabolism completely, and I don't begrudge him because he's not eating as much rubbish as he used to. He's recognizing the stuff that he like, for instance, rice. He's like, I can eat it, it's fine, but it just doesn't fill me up anymore. And I'm like, well, yeah, well, you know, it kind of doesn't have any nutritional value. So the fact that this man that I'm married to, 45 years of age, yes, I know he's younger, ladies. Uh, he is now, because he's been pretty much increasing his meat since the beginning of the year with me, he's now the weight he was when he was 18. He's now got a cold that's lasting for ages. And I said, well, you've probably got what I had. It's just that because you've increased your meat, that the symptoms of flu are lessened. It just means it's going to take longer to get rid of, and things like that. So you've got varying degrees of people who are carnivores who come back to families who are supportive of it, and families who basically don't give a shit, and those that make you feel like shit for it. I have a problem with that, just saying. I don't think anybody should make you feel like crap for the choices you make for what you put in your gob. I'm just saying. I made it clear when I started I'm not cooking anything I can't eat. And I've stuck to that. And it's been respected. And I think that everybody who is making these choices for themselves should be respected as such. But, you know, when you're faced with a trip such as the one in Texas, and you see people, varying degrees of people that go back to their normal lives, and you've got those that are supported and those that aren't. The ones that aren't supported with their families, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. It's called respect. I don't know. It's very difficult for me to sort of step back, but I wanted to share this little part of what my mother felt when she'd been overseas and been adored on stage, been applauded, been cheered, been respected. And it wasn't that we weren't supportive when she came home. It was a case of mum, you know, dad and we kind of arrogantly, if you like, expected her to fit in to that mother-wife role. And she had a hard time separating the two. She wanted the adoration all the time. And of course, that's difficult to deliver. And she struggled with that, as is very apparent. So I'm going to put a little picture up of her so that you can have a look at her. And then I'm going to read you her words. I think the worst thing about a trip overseas, not a holiday, a trip to sing. I mean, let's face it, I never go overseas on holidays. I mean, what is this monumental depression that settles in on you? You're okay for the first day. I can't believe that it's just jet lag. I'm convinced it has something to do with one's artistic temperament. After all, you've been applauded, treated like royalty, cheered, screamed at, loved, adored. One is also loved and adored at home, but suddenly everything is total silence, apart from the dogs yapping. And it's rather strange, but no amount of telling one's husband how wonderful it all was, or even watching it on video or listening to it, can bring it all back. What you've done, it's all gone. All those decibels that I've sung up into the ozone layers, really, in a way, forever, and you're back to this domestic, boring normality. Well, normal for some, yet not for me. It seems against all my, well, I don't want to wash dishes. Even unpacking is a bore because as you unpack, you find little things that meant a tremendous amount to you when you were buying them or being given them, and here at home they don't seem to mean very much to anybody, not even to yourself. I can't believe it's just tiredness and jet lag. It has to be something deeper than that, something psychological. After having it all, suddenly you seem to have nothing. It's not true. I can't say I've got nothing. It's all gone, all finished. Even phoning the opera company one works for and saying thank you very much. Suddenly they are there and you are here, and it's all different because they're on opposite sides of the world. You phone the conductor to thank him and he's not there, and there's no one to talk to say, gosh, wasn't that wonderful? Once you leave the town, city, country where the glory was, it's finished, and I find that tremendously depressing. I wonder if it would be less depressing if one was offered a return engagement immediately. I know in Fresno, for instance, the last thing the general manager said to me at the airport was, we're definitely having you back. But with my record, well, I guess I must be very insecure. But I never really believe anybody when they say that. That's just a small part of a very large document. And whereas I have absolutely no problem in sharing all of it with you, I just thought I'd give you a little bit. Even when the fog has lifted, there is still that little bit of doubt. For me this week it has been very stressful. I'm not going to lie to you there. Cortisol levels maybe just a little bit. I did lose. The measurements are like, but like I've said in previous weeks, I'm just not worried. It doesn't worry me at all. My body's doing what it needs to do. My stress has come from the fact that I am now having to learn to articulate the things that are difficult to articulate in everyday relationships. The confidence is there. It is definitely coming. It's starting to push through. But that doesn't mean to say that they aren't difficult conversations to have. They are. They always are, especially when they're personal. You know, they're between couples or kids, or when you're trying to find your feet in articulating those things without sounding like a total bitch, they are difficult to have. Still getting some flack from the opera community. I'm over it. So I'm altering my approach in how I deal with that. Thanks again to Adrian. He just keeps helping. And I keep asking. Between my husband and him, we're all on the same page in that there are aspects of my mother's stuff The transferring of it, I have to treat it like a business. Take the emotion out of it, because the emotion side of it is pissing me off. Yeah. So that's what I have to do with that. And I have to create distance, as much distance as I can, because my first priority is the lifestyle that I've chosen and the health regime that I am on. Nothing's going to stop me from doing that. Nothing. I've said it before. My mum and dad will always be a part of my life, but they will never consume my life again. I'm not in that world, and I will never be in that world again the way I was when mum and dad were alive. So we need to stop kidding ourselves here. You know? Cuck has been by my side. Yes, we're going to talk about Cuck. The value that I got out of that video was immense. Imagine my surprise at the response. Oh my gosh. You never know when he's going to turn up in photographs or even on screen. You just don't know. You just don't know. But he is gaining personality, and my husband and I, we have plans. Somebody even mentioned something about googly eyes. To the one who mentioned that, we're on it. Yes, he's going to get googly eyes. This little guy has, he's kind of become, he definitely has become the channel mascot. So it might even mean that my banner at the top of my channel is going to change just a little bit. Just a little bit. Who knew? Who knew that one criticism could turn into that? The photographs I haven't looked at as of now. I wanted to do the video before we lost the daylight. But I did take photographs. I think I mentioned when I got the vibration plate that I took photographs of myself in just my bra. And it was an eye-opener, to say the very least. I got myself a selfie stick that's sort of extends to be on a tripod. Today's photographs I took myself with a little remote-y. I took the liberty of also taking, because it's been about a month now since I've been on the vibration plate, I took shots of me just wearing a bra. I'm not going to show you those. I'm so not there yet. Oh my God, if ever. But when I took them and looked at the previous ones, this was my face. The difference. Oh my God. The combination of carnivore or ketovore or keto or low carb and a vibration plate, something like that, or even an elliptical, if you can't use the vibration plate for whatever medical reason there is, you know, the elliptical that Bill Knott has. If you can use something else in addition to the meat that you're putting in your gob, honestly, those photographs I took of just in the bra are just, oh my God, crazy different. And I figured there might be a difference, but I didn't bank on there being that much of a difference. Now, you got to bear in mind also, I'm not standing on the vibration plate yet because of the weight limitation. I'm beginning to, after seeing those photographs today, I'm really beginning to think, well, okay, when I start standing on that thing, I think we really are going to see some serious stuff. And it's time for me to get my head around that. It's time for me to expose myself to that kind of therapy, because I think it's going to be quite shocking for me. Meanwhile, all of you guys will probably go, oh my gosh, that's so wonderful. Oh, and, you know, cheer and clap hands and congratulations and everything. But for me, it's going to be very, very. But yeah, I need to start preparing myself for myself for that. Just like I've been looking at the comparison shots every week since I started. I've needed to do that because, yeah, I'm not letting anything frighten me off again. I can't. I can't. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. If you know, you know. You know? Yeah. So without much further ado, let us get into the montage. So yes, those are the stats this week. And next week is 6 months. What I've got planned for my video for 25 weeks, get ready for a lot of montages, folks. A lot. And there's going to be video clips. We're going to go back in time to see what I was like 6 months ago, even just before I started. And we're going to go on a bit of a journey. We're going to go on a bit of an odyssey and see what those 6 months looks like when it's compiled in the way that I'm seeing in my head. Let's just hope it works out that way. So get ready for next week, folks, because next week is 6 months on Carnivore. 6 months. And I've said it nearly every week. It has gone so quickly. I'm going to blink and it's going to be a year. I'm going to blink. And that'll be my mistake. I'll blink. Please know that you are not alone in this journey. Whatever that journey is for you, you're not alone. You don't have to do this alone, okay? Even if you are in a house full of family that maybe make you feel alone, you've got a community that's there for you, okay? You need to know that. No one is meant to do this journey on their own, so don't feel that you are. Please reach out, okay? Because this is a very emotional journey. Eating the meat is easy. The emotional and mental part of this is hard, and you're not meant to do that on your own. So please reach out. I would like you to be kind to those around you if you can. Don't take any crap. Protect your peace at all costs. But please remember, and this is the hardest one, be kind to yourself. Until Thursday, enjoy your week. I love you guys.